Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. Today we begin the chapter number 4, atoms, molecules and radicals. In the previous chapters we have studied about matter, and this matter is anything that is around us. Even we ourselves, our own body is matter. It is anything that occupies space and has mass. You also learned in the previous topics related to matter that this matter is made up of what is called as small particles, molecules. So, when we talk about these molecules now, these molecules are made up of what? We'll study in this chapter about that. That is, the molecules themselves, which are present in the matter, are made up of atoms, and atoms can be present in the form of different type of radicals. You will see this in the later part of the chapter as positive radicals and the negative radicals. Two types of radicals are there. So basically what we are going to learn is what matter is finally made up of. In simple manner we say matter is made of molecules, but what the molecules are made of and how it is done, all this we will see in this present chapter. So here we begin. The introduction already I have told, you can go through this. So what finally we learn from that is in atoms are the building blocks of matter. Matter is made of molecules, but ultimately molecules are not the smallest thing. Even the molecules are made of small particles, and which are called as the atoms. Therefore we call the atoms as the building blocks of matter. Different atoms join together and they are forming molecules. Also, sometimes what is happening, the atoms convert themselves into radicals. About the radicals, we'll not focus now. When it comes, we'll talk about this in details later on. Presently, in this part, this is the first part of this chapter only. So we will just limit it. This video will limit to atoms only. So when we talk about the atoms now, if we take a small particle of a small piece of any object, so a mass of an element we have taken and we are keeping on dividing it again and again. So is that element, if we keep on dividing into smaller and smaller parts, what will happen? It, after repeatedly dividing that substance, a level, a particular place will reach there, a stage will reach there when we are not able to divide that thing into smaller particles. So that particular stage when we are not able to divide any element into smaller things, that is what is called as an atom only. So we can basically say it is an indivisible part. We cannot break it into smaller parts, and by this we can come to the definition now. Exactly definition we'll see, because it is indivisible, it cannot be broken into smaller parts. We can say atom is the smallest part of any element that take part in the chemical reaction. Whenever any of the chemical reaction is going on, always and always only an atom will take part in that, and atom is the smallest thing, smallest possible thing in any of the chemical reaction. Nothing smaller than any atom can ever be present in a chemical reaction. Molecules are there. Whenever we take any molecule for reaction, what will happen? That molecules, whatever we have taken, they will break down into atoms. When they break into atoms, then these atoms will react, they will do all the chemical reactions, and then again new molecules will form afterwards, that is after the reaction has completed. So never molecules never participate, always atoms are participating in the chemical reaction. Molecules break down into atom, then reaction happens, and after the reaction again new substance or new molecules will form there. So when we talk about chemical reaction, what is the smallest thing that is present? It is always atom. Always remember, smallest thing, smallest part of any element in any chemical reaction, always and always it is atom. So that is, we have taken an insight into what are atoms. It is the smallest particle that is possible in a chemical reaction. Now when these atoms are reacting with each other, then there is an important concept related to that, because atoms are combining with each other. Now how many atoms will combine with how many other atoms? Like we can take hydrogen atom. H means hydrogen. So if we take hydrogen atom and we ask how many atoms of any other element will join with this hydrogen, how we will understand that, how we can uh, explain this concept, that how many atoms will join with one hydrogen atom. For that we have a concept called as valency. So now we will begin the next topic, that is valency, and in the topic itself they have told the full definition. Actually here it is the combining capacity, the capacity to combine with other atoms of any element. It can be the same element also, like hydrogen atom. It can also join with another hydrogen atom. What we'll get? We'll get H2, that is molecule. Two atoms join to form what? Atoms join to form molecules, that you already should be knowing. Atoms join to form molecules. So whenever different atoms are joining, two atoms are there, both are joining, what we are getting? As a result of their joining, we are getting a molecule. So that is one way we can say. Same element can also join, but another way we can write, like hydrogen can also join with other atoms. Like it can join with for example chlorine. Cl means chlorine is a gas. Hydrogen atom joins with chlorine atom. What we are getting is, we are getting HCl, hydrogen chloride. That is a gas, it is an acidic gas, so that is forming there. So one atom of hydrogen joins with one atom of chlorine. So that is how many atoms are joining? Only one atoms of chlorine are joining. So that is the capacity of hydrogen. It cannot join with three atoms of chlorine or five atoms or any number of chlorine atom. Only one atom is sufficient for one atom of hydrogen. So that is what we call as combining capacity, capacity of how many atoms can join with a particular element. I have taken hydrogen as a reference only to explain. So valency is called as that only, and depending on the number of atoms that can combine, we give that number as valency. So valency of hydrogen is 1, because only one atom of hydrogen joins with one another atom. One atom of hydrogen joins with one atom of chlorine. Similarly, we can write one atom of hydrogen joins with another substance. We can write, for example, bromine, that is another gas liquid there. It will produce HBr. That is some examples only I'm telling. So only one atom is possible to join. That is why valency of hydrogen is what? 1. Based on this hydrogen only, we can decide the valency of other atoms also. That is, the number of hydrogen atom that combine with one atom of the element is also called as the valency. This is another form of this definition. Valency is combining capacity, but when we count this valency, when we have to calculate or when we have to tell the valency, then how we can tell? We can tell this in reference to hydrogen atom. One hydrogen atom will join with how many other atoms of any element. For examples they have given here already. I have told about hydrogen chloride. One atom of chlorine combines with one atom of hydrogen. So because only one atom of chlorine is able to join, therefore we call the valency of chlorine is also 1. If two atoms would have joined, then we would have said 2. So like that only we have to identify this. Similarly, you see here, an atom of zinc displaces two atoms of hydrogen from the acid. One atom is removing two atoms. Displaces means removing only. It removes. So one atom of zinc removes two atoms of hydrogen. So that is why we will say valency of the particular atom, that is of zinc, is 2 here. So all these valencies are different in number, and you have to always remember this number will move up to 3 only. 1, 2 and 3. More than 3, 4 also rarely it is possible. Only 4 valencies are there: 1, 2, 3 and 4. More than 4 it will never be there. So 4 valencies are there, and based on that this only we are calling these different element in different categories. We make these categories of the elements based on the valency. First are the monovalent, all the elements where the valency is 1. If the valency of any element is 1, it's called as monovalent. Second is divalent, valency is 2, trivalent, valency is 3, tetravalent, valency is 4. So based on the valency only, number of atoms that can be combined with this, we can call these elements in these particular categories. So all these you can learn from here. We can ask any one of these. For example, in exam we can ask, bromine is a monovalent atom. So because it is given here, yes, bromine is monovalent. Similarly, we can ask, give 2 examples of divalent. So all these you have to learn. Any 2 we can ask, any 3 we can ask, or indirectly we can also ask sulfur is divalent, true or false. Like this also we can make questions. So all these you have to learn. All will learn these valencies. Monovalent is 1, divalent valency is 2, trivalent valency is 3, tetravalent valency is 4. This is your homework for this present part of this video. So that is about the valencies. It is only the combining capacities, and we have already mentioned in the previous part, that is how the molecules are formed. That is by combination of the atoms cannot remain independent, they cannot live alone. So what will happen, they will tend to combine, they will always join, they make groups, and the group of atoms are called as molecules. So that is all. We will read the definition now. Molecule is what? It is the smallest part of the element that can exist independently. Any substance can never have atoms independent. Atoms always join together. Atoms are forming only in the chemical reaction only. After that, atoms cannot live alone. They will join together back and they will form molecules. So if we talk about independent existence, then it is molecule only. A molecule is the smallest thing which can live independently. Always and always you will remember this thing. And based on this, we are having different concepts related to the formulas. I'm not going into details now. We'll wind up the video now. We have learned up to the definition of the molecules. So this part, the first part of this chapter, we have completed. This is your homework that I have told you. You have to learn the table 4.1, and better is that you write this in your notebook. Always write it in the notebook, and also you have to learn it. Write and learn also all of these. So that is your homework for this week. We will continue with the explanation of the molecules and how to write the formulas of all these. We will see in the later part. So that is all for today's video. We'll wind up now. Thank you.